You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the meta. The meta controls everything. The meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching The Meta Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Meta Show.
Oh my
Today
God.
is July the 25th, 2020. I am Brisker Ball. I am joined by the Matani. We coordinated today.
We're here. I think that you are looking fantastic, Brisk.
I would have to
really
say the
like
same
style.
for you, my friend.
I appreciate that. I am an extremely vain creature, and now that I am, as you guys know, I was out last weekend for my birthday. I am 42 years old, along with Brisk here. We're all 42 here. We're all fine.
I am now 43 officially.
Oh, I see.
I changed.
I see how it is.
So I'm
okay.
slightly a little older than
you. You're a year ahead of me. But yeah, no, it's good to be back. So I am here from my latest undisclosed location, which is my new place, and I will end up showing off. I've got a really cool battle station here that I'm in the process of rigging up and setting everything appropriately, and my new desk turns up on Sunday. So it's been kind of wild because it's a fucking hell war right, and trying to move. It's a fucking hell war because is definitely I didn't tell anybody outside of the directorate. So the last, I was basically just no lifing Eve Online until 3 days before I moved, and wanted to get things into a relatively semi-stable-ish scenario as best as we could before I went dark, packed up everything that I owned, and it's good to be back, guys. It's good to be back.
Well, we're happy to have you back. I thought last week was a fun show. We had Merc and Nam and Mine One joined us, and that was kind of cool. And of course, it can't be a fireside show without me messing up everything a couple times. So it was not up to our normal standards, but you're back now, so now we're good. I have to put on the best show I possibly can when our fearless leader is with us. So I'm very pleased to be doing that. Couple of things. We've got a lot of war stuff to talk about, but I think I wanted to get on my soapbox for a minute because
go for it.
We've been watching the last week or so. I wouldn't even say the last week. I say the last. Honestly, it's really been since the war started. The big question of who's winning. Everybody wants to know who's winning. You ask the goons who's winning. Goons are winning. You ask Init who's winning. Goons are winning. You ask PanFam who's winning. PanFam's winning. You ask Test who's winning. They don't know. But probably they'll say PanFam is winning too. But the reality is nobody knows. And the real issue, one of the issues that we have in EVE, and the CSM was discussing this internally, and we talked a little bit about it with CCP over the last week. The hard part about war in EVE is, how do you determine who is winning? There's a lot of different ways you can look at it. You can look at it from SOV, whose flags are flying in the different systems in regions. You can look at it from who's controlling the territory, the iHubs. You're looking at who's controlling the moons. You can look at it in terms of battling between who's lost ISK and who's won ISK. But in the end, in the beginning, especially amongst huge coalitions that all have tons of money, ISK doesn't really matter that much. It might matter at the tail end when the war's about over and you're really down to the dregs and you have no way to buy new ships and build new ships and reconstitute fleets. That might be a thing at the end, but in the beginning, everybody's flush. So is ISK really that important? So in the end, how do we determine who's winning the war? Is it just morale? Is it shitposting on Reddit? Who has the most propaganda victories? Who has pulled off the biggest heists or the biggest battle accomplishments? Is that how we determine who wins a war? I don't know. And I think that makes it very difficult because I think in the end, the result of who wins a war comes down to the victors deciding that they've won and being able to convince everybody that they've won, or the defenders deciding that they've lost and picking up their ball and going home or going somewhere else and letting the bad guys do whatever they want and not contest anything anymore. I think in multiple situations we've seen that happen before. I think we've seen it, when it comes to the casino war. It was over when basically goons were pushed out of Declan and decided they needed to go somewhere else, and they were sitting on a couch in Saranen for a while, and then they went down to Delve. The war was over at that point because the bad guys just said, all right, we took it, we're done, and we're not going to do anymore, and that's it. And then you look at Tribute, and the same situation happens where we go up, we glass Tribute, we clear out NC Dot and all their stuff, we kill 4 Keep Stars in a day, but they never really contested after the first week or so. So at that point, did we win? Well, I guess we could say we won because we didn't take the space. It never became Imperium space, but we cleared out all the stuff we didn't like, and the bad guys didn't use it anymore. So I guess we could say we won. So I think in the minds of everybody out there, they could say we won that. The bad guys won the last time. So in the terms of who's winning this war now, I think the question it's going to come down to it's in the eye of the beholder. Who do you think is doing better than the other side right now? If you look at Fountain, I think it's pretty clear. PanFam's doing a pretty good job. They've taken a bunch of iHubs. They've cleared some space. They're dropping structures. We're in the process of fighting them literally as we speak right now. I think if you look at period basis and Paragon Sol and the southern front towards Delve, I think Goons are winning there because Test has not done anything. They've not made any progress. If you look at the ISK War, and I'll pull this up real quick on this new wonderful website that I love that was put together called World War B. And if you look at the assets lost in terms of the Imperium and versus Poppy, we've won 22 battles, they've won 38. We've lost 2.1 trillion, they've lost 1.8 trillion. Still pretty close. And I would say as defenders, as far as that goes, when it comes down to it, I think the defenders are always going to have the advantage when you're looking at in terms of whether or not they lose stuff, because they're going to have to lose things because you're killing structures. We're not going into Pappy's base and killing a lot of their structures, so that we're not getting that part of the IS battle. So does that mean they're winning? I don't know. When you're talking about an alliance that has been generating trillions and trillions in wealth every month for the last 4 years, is a 2 trillion lost a big deal? I don't know. If somebody steals a $500 billion in bombs from you, do you really notice? Not really. So in the end, I think it comes down to this war is going to be a long war. It's not going to be over quickly. And the reason why we titled this show The Grind is Real is because we are in the middle of the grind aspect of this war. It is the part where everybody's forming fleets. They're forming fleets every night. They're taking everything super seriously, even when it doesn't matter. And people are going to start to get bored. They're going to start to wind down. They're going to start to think, well, this is either too easy if you think you're winning, or this is too hard and we're not defending enough if you're losing. And people are going to start getting bored. But this is the important time, because this is going to be the time that sets up for the bigger fights that are going to come in the next 2 or 3 months. Because that's, honestly, the fights are going to come. We're still in the beginning stages of all of this. So if anybody had to put a gun to my head and literally ask me, Brisk, who is winning the war right now? I cannot give you a legitimate answer that is both objective and correct. And I don't think anybody else can either. Now, I can say, I think we're winning because all we have to do to win this war is not lose it. They have to physically do things. They have to invade space. They have to kill our structures. They have to clear out all of our stuff. They have to destroy our alliance because that's what they claim they wanted to do. They want Init to die. They want Goons to die. This is a war of annihilation according to them in their own speeches. So if they don't achieve that goal, and that's a very difficult goal to achieve because people have been coming at everybody, all of our groups for years now, and they haven't managed to make that happen. If they don't accomplish that goal, then I don't think you can really say that they have won the war. But again, it's going to be up to you. That's my soapbox. You can agree with it. You can disagree with it. I hope you guys all found a lot of good propaganda to put on Reddit this week, because I love that. Please keep it up. And I'll turn it over to my colleague.
Somebody told me to not stare at the camera, so of course that made me just
stare at the camera.
Exactly.
Always stare at the camera.
So yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Like obviously losing North Fountain sucks, right? Like the process of losing North Fountain is not cool. Like PanFam is playing smart. Like they're making clever plays. They're doing things in a sensible way based upon the geography of North Fountain. That's something that the initiative was entirely aware of before, like when PanFam went to Hop Hib. Like everybody knew what's up. And I understand that there's this whole thing where like the initiative and Goons Farm and the rest of the Imperium are supposed to like not like each other, but nothing makes friends stronger quite like being in the same trench together against the same enemies. So, I don't think that anybody has had, so far things have been going there's a few surprises. Like I think that the biggest surprise for me is that we still have North Aquarius, right? Like the fact that Aquarius has like the people are talking about tests getting tired, and it's true that they do seem to be like tiring out in general. But one of the things that I will be talking about, like when we do the fireside after the show, is that uh, it's not that Legacy isn't doing anything, because Legacy is forming up over and over and over and over and over again all day, every day. Pro God Legend keeps splash forming. They're doing all this stuff. It's just that we've stopped them. Right. So it's not like these guys are not trying to take us out. It's just that they have failed completely, repeatedly. They got XE8, XETAC, and then they invested a bunch in that, and then we blew them the fuck out of our space. So it's in these early phases of these wars. The war is happening. Territory is being ceded. We're trying to put some offensive pressure on Test. Is it going to work? We'll have to see. But obviously we don't want to be losing space. We expect to continue to lose space because it's a defensive war. Our victory condition is, as Brisk pointed out, to survive. And so far we're surviving, right? Like this is not over. It hasn't even really gotten started yet. I think that what's going to be really interesting is what happens over the next, really like this next week, because you're seeing NC Dot and crew are restaging into Pinky, PNQY in North Fountain, out of Hop Hib, which is a interesting move. And that is like the big thing they're doing this weekend. They are onlining, they're preparing to siege the IGE Keepstar, it looks like. One of the things that I am really interested about in seeing in this war is it's sort of shifting from like Fozzie slap fights into like some of these Keepstar battles, right? Like, because I am delighted for us to fight on our own citadels in general. And while we're still doing like the Fozzie slap fight back and forth, why siege a faction Fort Azar? Why siege a Keepstar when you can pick up easy wins elsewhere? So, I just think it's completely premature. Like, yeah, we're losing territory in Fountain. That's most likely going to continue because the interior lines of reinforcement from Hop Hib into the DK4U constellation are so short because they're staging right next door. Now that they're moving into Pinky, like this is something that, I guess it leaked already, but like Sister Bliss's initiative update pretty much covered exactly everything that's going on, I think, quite accurately. Well, actually, there is something that I'll say that I'll do as a soapbox here. Now that the thought just occurred to me. One of the challenges that we have, and it's not anybody's fault, right? It's not like when I'm gonna make the example of like people mistaking TCUs as being valuable and important. It's not like, oh my God, you guys are dumbasses because we lost a TCU and you think it matters. It's actually more of an issue with the soft system itself, right? Like the fact that territorial control units only provide like notifications for tower drops, and they provide a minor fuel bonus, and then it creates like a MINOR, not MINER fuel bonus, and it puts a flag on Dotland. Means that we saw in like the early phase of this war, people were like, "Oh my God, like TCUs are falling." And if you are just some dude who's started playing in nullsec recently and have no real understanding of like the core aspect of what matters in Fozzie and what doesn't, why wouldn't you think that TCUs matter, right? It's a territorial control unit. It's a SOV system. So
that's who
like
controls the SOV, right?
Right,
It says
exactly,
it on Dotland.
exactly. And so it's not like these people's fault for going like, oh my God, TCUs are falling. It's a big deal, especially because TCUs do fall a lot because in terms of actual strategy, they're completely irrelevant. And they tend to be like just a big distraction. So like you let them fall or you put down spam ones or whatever. iHubs are really the real deal. But it is, that's basically one of the biggest challenges, I think, in terms of like public perception of the war one way or the other is like, okay, well, we don't care about TCUs, but are we just saying we don't care about TCUs because we're losing them and actually they're important? I mean, if you understand the ground truth of how the soft system works, and we still call it Fozzie Sov for a reason, it has gotten better. Like there have been a number of reforms over the years to unfuck the aspects of Fozzie Sov that are nightmarish. But we have created a specialist like a SIG and a squad just to deal with the weird nuances of Fozzie Sov stuff. So when the war first started, you saw a bunch of people going like, "Oh, Brave has some random guy in Brave has taken a TCU in Cloud Ring," and half of the galaxy was convinced that we considered Cloud Ring and that we even owned pure blind because French Connection was actually like part of the Imperium, and I lost a legion, and so we withdrew from pure blind. And the Imperium is losing Cloud Ring. The Imperium is losing pure blind. They're losing TCUs. Like basically, right now there's enough chaos in the collective battle space that you can pick your own narrative. Right? You can basically find supporting evidence to say whatever the hell you want. But yeah, that's it is what it is. But the confusion of the inherent confusion of a SOV system that was designed to be like a small gang PvP wankfest that has been attempted to be unfucked over the years by repeated fixes from CCB, and thank God that CCB has done the things that they have done to make it less miserable. But as far as every time we have a FOSSI war, it pretty much proves why, generally speaking, when we're doing like between Hell War campaigns, the blocks typically ignore Fozzie Sov and like try to just kill citadels and like blow stuff up, and then we clean up Fozzie Sov stuff later. I haven't had a chance to like look at chat too much because I would be trolling people, but I'm running my mouth. So
Well, go ahead and look at chat, and I will finish. I'll start running my mouth. So if you look at, I mean, here's another instance, and it goes into what Mitz was just saying about Intosising and Fozzie Sov, Aegis Sov, whatever you want to call it. I prefer to say Aegis Sov because I feel bad for Fozzie because this wasn't his fault. He just got slapped with the label. It wasn't really his fault. It took more than just him doing it. He happened to be the spokesperson for that team. But anyway, I don't want to get in an argument about that because it's pointless. If you look at timer board, and I'll pull up the timer board right here, there's 77 upcoming timers, and the vast majority of these, at least coming up, are in Quirius here. And if you look down here and look at the timing on them, they all come out right around the same time. There is no way that anybody is going to contest every single one of those timers. It's just not going to happen. So more than anything, we spend half of our time when we're dealing with stuff like this. It's just trolling. It's just trolling. It's creating timers. It is going out there and trying to harass and create pings and create things that everybody has to go do, and that's it. So in the end, what does that mean? Nothing. Because half these, almost all of the toasting that was done in Quirius anyway, was part of Quirius Fight Club
toasting.
stuff. Toasting.
Why did, that is like
I know.
heavy as fuck. Like ever since like I started calling toasting, like we call it hacking. We've been calling it hacking for a long time. So
all right,
mommies,
hacking,
toonies,
fine.
desies, toasties, like ugh.
The point is, you're going after a bunch of systems that don't matter, that are not held by the core Imperium. They're in a system that was largely rental space anyway. It was really just a place that we put a bunch of people that wanted to fight but didn't want to deal with SOV mechanics. That's another thing. There's a great article on INN today, if you guys have not seen it yet, talking about the whole attitude that goons are bad for the game. And dispelling that myth, because it's a myth that has existed since that goes back to the Bob years, talking about how when the first time that all of Eve decided they wanted to come after goons and come after the Imperium or whatever we were called at that point, the whole idea of it was we were bad for the game. We were bad people. We were doing bad things.
A cancer on Eve.
Exactly. And so we must be excised. And they would come after us and do that. And ProGod and Vili tried to throw into that this time again when with their speech in their State of the Alliance before they announced the war about how we stifle content and we stagnate things. But Quirius Fight Club's a perfect example of why that's not true. We got a bunch of smaller alliances that didn't want to deal with SOV, that just wanted to fight each other. We created a space. We gave it to them and said, guys, here you go. Have fun. Go fight each other. You can do whatever you want. We gave them a place to grow. And the same with when we Glass Tribute and we cleared it out. Did we take that SOV for ourselves? No. Did we turn it into rental space? No. We gave it out to other groups that they could take it over and that they could grow up their alliances. And if you see groups like Conifers, even though I give them shit and Pinecones to Linda Est and everything, they're a huge alliance that covers a ton of space now, and they would not have had that ability if we had not cleared out that area so that they could grow up there. So in the end, you guys can say all you want about how goons are bad for the game, Imperium's bad for the game, but we've been there providing content for more than a decade and a half now, and we're going to be here for a while, no matter what happens in this war. So I think in the end, it's like, all right, that's a Kool-Aid line, that's a propaganda line. Nobody really thinks that. So, okay, we'll go from there. I'm
I mean, I guess we're blue balling something in IGE because there is a whole bunch of hose status mad here. I guess Horde is honking at us and hoping that this is interesting. Okay. I mean, I have no problem with honks. People can honk as much as they want.
Well, I'm just happy that we are
I think
providing some
I'm supposed to
entertainment
be
for these
angry,
guys.
and I think that, I mean, I actually saw this from some spy channels. It's like, there's lots of hijinks in this war now, and like that's one of the things I really like about the fact that like we're at the point where like there's metagaming fuckery happening. So I'm just gonna bounce around and like run my mouth. I think we had like a show notes thing, but I enjoy playing to a big audience. So like, dude, if all of our enemies want to come here and like watch the show and like honk at me, I will get all gussied up and just try to be as excruciatingly annoying as possible. But there's been a bunch of like metagaming type stuff that has really sort of kicked off in the last couple of weeks, and I enjoy that. Like that's the part of Eve that I really like. And so they finally claimed credit for it, but Tridget and his crew like stole a bunch of our ammo and stuff a couple weeks ago. And I don't know why they waited until now to post about it, but this happened several weeks ago. They got through and like they stole all of our ammo in certain citadels they had access to. And then, so that was cool. That happened. I think again, I was supposed to be angry about that. I was like looking on that earlier, and like people are expecting me to like have a thing, but that happened weeks ago. And well played, right? Like that's spy action. That's the cool stuff. That's stuff I enjoy. Mad Cows yesterday stole a
That was
fucking
fun too.
test Leviathan that they had just like literally. I don't know what this good dude. I don't know what the story is, like whether that guy like went out for coffee or something, or like got wife aggro or something happened, and they left a levy just lying around in test space. And I get maybe a tower ran out of fuel. Whatever happened, we stole a test Leviathan last night. That was fun. And there's in general, like, you know, things are kicking up. So another metagame thing that happened was NC Dot had a alt corp that was in our like an alt corp in Goonswarm that had been sold to them or something or other. And they went through, like, I guess this was last week. It's wartime, so like time is really a blur, especially because I moved during all this stuff. So I'll be like, this happened last week, and either it happened like 2 days ago or it happened like 3 weeks ago. Time is crazy in a war. But they did a whole bunch of spam drops or tried to use this alt corp to like drop stuff in our SOV. This was the day that we kicked Test out of XZ. Like Test did not even form for XZ TAC after investing in it a week. And I'm not sure that they were trying to coordinate with NC Dot to like do the alt corp spam drop play or whatever, but it happened at the same time. And of course we caught it in the middle of their drop. We kicked their dudes out. So, you know, it's neat though, because like this is the cool stuff, right? Like for me, like it's not just like we're doing block war, like fleets are smashing into each other and like we're all trying to like maneuver the geography. One of the things that is really interesting about this war, I think in general, is that all sides have been pretty conscious of the impact of geography, right? And when I say geography, I mean capital jump ranges specifically. We know that Titans and super capitals have been nerfed in terms of their EHP. We know that Pan Fam and Legacy have used a huge dread bomb threat that they moved over to Hopib and are now moving that into PNQI. And what they're trying to do is quite sensible. They're trying to bait out the Imperium super fleet so that they can use dreads to take out our supers and Titans. And we're also trying to look for opportunities to do similar things when we're like putting pressure on Legacy. So I think after the initial scramble of that first week where everybody just kind of like, what the fuck are we doing collectively? Like all sides are making mistakes and sort of shaking the dust off. It's been just a shitload of fun. Like I'm fucking really enjoying this. Like at least as far as the organizational developments and like watching our team get better. Like each day, our Euro time zone crew basically like logs on, and because like Test changes their tactics a little bit, like they'll use Hawks now instead of like maybe as many retributions or whatever. But functionally speaking, defending the battle space is roughly the same each day. And like I get to watch like sort of like a proud father, like getting to watch our guys get better at that defense, because again, like the line, and it's fun to troll the Legacy guys and say like they suck and they're lazy, but the reality is that Legacy is trying very, very hard to knock all our shit down. They're in our space every single day whenever our vulnerabilities open in Euro time zone. Like they are there. It's just that we are there stopping them, and we've done a very good job of that so far. I think we lost an iHub in North Aquarius just before the show started because we were defending some stuff in period basis. So like there is
just
stuff that is
one iHub.
There's stuff
Just
that's changing hands.
Aquarius.
There's stuff that's changing. I mean, we shouldn't even have that Aquarius space. They should have taken that shit off of us like 2 weeks ago.
It should have been the first week of the war.
it's really strange that like that is actually one of the other things that's really interesting about this war is like trying to predict what each side is going to do. So like in the original configuration of our defense, we were expecting more of a salient coming through J5A. And the whole TCAG G Magic thing has been, I think, a lot of fun, like having it just, shit's going to go down there on the TCAG G Magic border every day. But like we expected, and I think all of the various adults in the room on all sides of this war expected the main thing to be fat into 49 tack. Right. And, maybe while we're on the show, Legacy and crew are going to like have a huge form in fat and like come through 49. But, they put down 2 keep stars in fat. We put down a keep star in 49. And everybody's like, this is going to be where it goes down. It's going to be the gates of the Fort Taco 7 gate. It's just like in the Great War. And it's going to be a whole thing. And let's get ready, guys. And then Paragon Soul border. Like, it's kind of fun because it's not at all what I think any of us really predicted was like how this is going to go down. So like some of the things in terms of like the first couple of weeks of this war have been adjusting from our pre-war plans and preparation on all sides, expecting like, for example, Legacy was probably going to try to go after initiatives like Syndicate Moons. And then they got ready to deploy in the whole Hop Hib thing. And it turned out that there weren't any Initiative Syndicate Moons anymore because Initiative had yanked them all down or sold them. Right. So like there is definitely like a lot of like strategic maneuvering and like org fixing and creating new SIGs and squads and trying new things. Like one of the things I really love, and this is like not specific to any side here, but there are a lot of us that only play Eve seriously in the client, at least speaking for like the Imperium and like the old school Goonswarm people who've been playing this game for like 15 years or whatever. A lot of us like the real, oh my God, this fucking game stuff happens during a hell war like this, where suddenly you are, you just try everything, right? Because you're going to lose everything if you don't try everything. It's balls to the wall all the time. So you just end up trying out like crazy shit that under peacetime you would normally go like, that's a bad idea, that couldn't work. And now it's like, fuck it, try it tomorrow. Like, let's do it. Like here's, let's give it a go. And so it makes sense. Like in real world wars, you see in major military conflicts, all sides involved take major advancements in terms of like political, sociological, and technological development and military tactics. And so that is one of the things that I think is exciting about this war, not just for us on the Imperium side, but collectively, whatever happens, win or lose on the other side of this thing, Eve's meta in terms of fleet behavior, in terms of just how things are done, is going to look very different. And I think that's cool. So I guess that's my soapbox. I ran my mouth for a little bit there. I'll try to tune back into chat if people are, if we want to troll each other or whatever. But it's hard for me to troll back if I'm yakking. So Brisk.
Nothing wrong with yakking. Look, I'm happy to take over yakking for you. Yeah. It's funny because the bad guys think that a good way to get under my skin and keep me from smiling and being happy during the show is to ping me 1,000 times asking, why isn't Headliner on the show? And Headliner wants to come on, and I was laughing with him. I'm like, well, we'll invite you. We'll see. We'll talk about it. We don't invite guests on mid-show. That's not what we do. So those of you who want to see Headliner will have to wait. But I don't have a problem bringing him on if he wants to chat. But I know what he's going to say. There are something like 2,000 PanFam guys in and around IGE right now, and they are dropping it at an Astra House off of our Keep Star there, and they seem to think this is a big deal. Okay, go ahead. I thought the narrative this week was we were giving up Fountain.
Is just garbage. Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually think that's a good idea because we should. The next time we put like Headliner on or something like that, we'll end up with more old school PL people joining Goonswarm. Like basically, if it wasn't for Headliner being Headliner, I don't think that we would have like a Grath Telkin back. Like, so, that's cool. I'm down.
I mean, I don't have a problem with. Look. You guys can say what you want. I don't have a problem putting guys on the show. We had Villy on for like 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we don't like we use Zoom, so we don't just like throw people on.
That's
it's
the
not
thing.
like it's not like whatever Crying in Station Discords, whatever you guys are used to, where like people can just pop on a Discord and be on the show. This is like a thing where we dress up in suits and we try to use our fancy expensive microphones and I try
Exactly.
desperately to figure out how to get my
Imperium
webcam to work
News,
because I'm
sponsored
bad with
by
technology.
Blue Microphones.
Hell yeah, there you go.
So I mean, look, we'll talk about it. I don't have a problem bringing Headliner on next week, but for now, it's not going to work because we don't do that in the mid show. But anyway, that's behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't need to see.
If you are unhappy about it and you are our enemies, I am pleased by your rage and frustration. Keep it up, boys and girls.
So in any event, there are a couple of things that I want to mention that I appreciate. And first of all, I got a lot of crap last week because I was talking about Fountain. I have never made it a hidden thing in the initiative for as long as I've been in here that one of the things I was excited about when we joined back in 2017 was that this was a group that did not hold sob. We were people that chase content. We went out there and we killed stuff, and that's what I like to do. I'm not a ratter. I'm not a miner. So the whole idea of settling down, when we first settled down in Quirius, it was kind of really just as a breather because we had come off of 18 months of solid fighting from the Casino War through all of our fighting in Syndicate, fighting with NC Dot, back and forth before the moon changes happened and everything. And everybody just wanted to take a little bit of break. That was fine. And that was how I got started in January, I guess it was January to May of 2017 when I was in it. I think in terms of Fountain, I never really liked Fountain. It was always a buffer region. And I know it makes me laugh because I think that I love it when Reddit and the Horde guys and whoever else wants to do this, they get in their head like one-off things that you or I say on the show, and I don't even know where some of the stuff came from because I can't remember. But did you say Fortress Fountain one time? I think you might have mentioned it.
I think I did actually. I slipped up and I said we're going to defend Fortress Delve and Fortress Fountain. Like Fountain is not actually a defensible region. That is just like a misstatement on my part. I apologize. I'm sorry to ruin your narrative that I said. Yeah, I mean, I guess I did. I'll say every region is a Fortress region randomly if it'll trigger people. But like, no, in terms of like,
it just made me laugh.
Can you read a map or not? Right?
Well,
like,
that's the thing.
Can you read a fucking map?
It just makes me laugh because Fountain is one of those regions that has been turned over so many times over the years to different groups.
When we settled in Delve, we didn't have the area that the initiative lives in used to be like the cultures area, right? Like
right. We took it. We had it given to them
originally.
To us by the culture, and that was really it was really just hey. Goons are to the south of us. We're here. Horde is next door. This is a buffer region. We can go fight, and that's why we went there. But I was never a fan of it anyway because I felt like, for all of my corporal mates who were giant miners and loved to do all that stuff, Quirius was much better soft for them. The ratting was better. The mining was better. It was a lot easier to defend it because it was far enough away from everything. It wasn't something that was close to anywhere. There wasn't a low-sec gate, 2 jumps away.
God, these dudes are so mad this zone. Sorry,
oh, no, they're always
they're like
they're
all
always
caps.
mad. But then of course
we know. Come on.
When did you say floodplain? When did you say floodplain? Because that was the other thing that I was laughing about this week. Because I can't remember you ever saying it.
I mean, North Fountain geography is such that if you park like bad guys, like North Fountain is sort of indefensible, like as we're kind of seeing, and like the Sister Bliss has pointed out that like you can do a long slow fighting retreat and you can like buff it up to make it painful for the bad guys. And he said as much in the war update. The thing is that like these dudes are just going to like latch onto anything I say. So one of the fun things about doing it is I'll just say things and they get, if I change what I say, then I'm spinning. But if I say, oops, I was, obviously Fountain is not a fortress, then I'm also spinning. So one of the things I love the most about this is that usually I get accused of spinning the most when I say something that is just objectively true. Like when I'm being completely 100% serious. And when I'm lying about something, people are like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Right. So like when I'm trying to lie and I'm trying to spin, people will be like, I could say the sky is green. And people would be like, it must be green. Or if I say the sky is blue, they will say there must be some sort of like a meta play and the sky is actually green. And the Matanis put like color coded contacts in our eyes so we can't see it right. But I do enjoy a good, like the rage from a good blue ball, because like the people here in chat, I'm just sorry guys, I'm so easily distracted by tears that it's just kind of like I just want to find angry puppies that are like expecting, because I've been watching, like guys, I have been watching and seeing. I know that the expectation was that I would come on here and be like a blue because I guess Test is winning now. I don't even fucking know.
Well, that's the question. So that's why I had to laugh, because every time we say anything, it turns, and I can't even express my own opinion about why I didn't like Fountain on Trash Talk Tuesday without everybody freaking out like, oh, you're backpedaling, didn't want that region anyway. Blah, blah, blah. Guys, my personal opinions don't matter. I'm a nobody in it. I just happen to be on a show. So I can say what I like.
The effort Omega. Like the other thing is like the way that puppies talk. Matani trying to not act salty. We can see the effort Omega lol. That is yikes. That is, where do these people come from? My God. I mean, I guess they're all the people that we would kick out of the Imperium, so they're in all these random.
They're probably blacklisted anyway.
Jesus, yeah, exactly.
But so the other thing, and then of course last week we had to hear a ton of Initiative is abandoning Fountain, which is another. It's like, you guys are in our comms, you see our pings, you read our forum posts, you read the update stuff, you listen to Bliss's State of the Alliance. Nowhere in there did we say we're abandoning Fountain. And the fact that we're moving stuff around is not us abandoning Fountain. It's us preparing for the next stage of the fighting. And part of that is you got to go back and figure out what you can fight and what you can't fight, and figure out what you're going to take down and what you're going to leave up, and provide, places for us to go and have fun and have fights. So like IGE, oh, we're in your staging. Okay, you guys have been bringing corn fleets in every week, every day. I wake up in the morning and I come downstairs and I get my coffee and I kill a corn fleet trying to mess with the IGE jump gate to nowhere now, because the D4K side is gone. We know you guys are around. You're next door. Great, thank you. I appreciate the content. It's not a big deal, And if the IGE Keep Star dies, great. So what? We've got plenty. There's a lot of them you guys are going to have to clear out. And like I said, we killed 4 in one day in Tribute, and NC Dot laughed it off. So if I can't laugh off one in Fountain, then I think you guys are being a little hypocritical.
Oh, I look like a Chuck E. Cheese character. Sorry, that's
is there a Chuck E. Cheese?
I don't know. I mean, can I get one of those like animatronic kind of things where, like, if I get this is amazing. These dudes are so mad.
Well,
I have a great opportunity to take the pulse of
that is a legitimate point, and I raised this the other day, and it's something that I've noticed. I have never seen saltier people when they're winning than I have in this war. It's like you're mad that you're winning. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like, normally you win and you're like, hey, we won. Good job, guys. Thanks for the fight. That was a lot of fun. Keep coming out. This time they win, and not only do they win, but they got to be mad about it. It's just funny.
Hose mad. It is interesting. So, let me try to think of, so something that was just shown to me. So, like, as everybody is just sort of like sitting here in chat and we're all, I'm trolling and people are trolling back and it's fun. I was unaware of this. So Mad Cow stole this Titan, and apparently, speaking of hoes being mad, Redline 13 has been running around howling in every channel about how it was staged it was faked, because it was like some sort of like a morale thing. And I think this is from, whatever. But I just think it's really funny because he's an NC guy. Why does he care if Tesla lost a Titan? And so there is metafuckery afoot, and there's just all this screeching at each other about like this happened or this didn't happen. And, this happens in every war. So like another thing is like seeing 1,000 people who are my enemies, like freaking out and raging out in chat and like trying to get me. That's awesome. Like, it's a sign that instead of having like exactly what Briscoe was saying, like instead of having like the catharsis of victory and what have you, they are clearly frustrated. Because, I mean, this is the thing, guys. If you all band together in the biggest group of cowards in the history of EVE Online, because I've watched you guys wait. You wait for your form ups until you can get help from the other side because you're not comfortable despite being elite PvP and, oh, you're so good at the game and, oh, we're Pandemic Legion, oh, get headliner on the show. You're a bunch of cowards. And you're cowards because you need the numbers. You're afraid of us.
There's a perfect example of that. Here, this is literally just happened, and this is what makes me laugh. We ping for a fleet to go fight the guys in IGE.
I'm triggered. Oh God. Okay, so
500. We have 500 guys. We get 500 guys on. They already have 1,100 guys between Pinky and between Hopib and everywhere else. That's not good enough. It's only 2-1. So they got to ping Test and get Test to show up and start jump cloning up to Hopib so that they can join too. It's like, all right, guys, do you want to fight or do you want to spurge? And as far as I can tell, all they really want to do is get angry because we won't fight them because they ping and get 4 or 5 times our numbers and then ask why we stand down. Like, this is the thing. We're not dumb guys. We want to fight. We'll fight you. We're just not going to take fights we can't win. And that's not cowardice, and it's not us being unwilling to defend Fountain. It's us choosing our battles, which is something as a defenders we have the benefit of deciding what to do. I mean, look,
I'm gonna get more mad here. It's gonna be fun.
Well, and I'll tell you this.
You go.
One last point. Our Ishtars. I love this new Shield Ishtar doctrine that Shines came up with. It is the best ever. It is funny as hell. It is fun. It is like, I mean, it's the thing. These guys see these Ishtars and they pee themselves because they don't want to deal with it. And I love that fact. So Shines, I love you. Thank you for the Shield Ishtars. I'm glad that I have a bunch sitting in my hangar in IGE ready to go troll these guys with. It's going to be great. But we have them. We're ready to go. We're going to fight you. We'll fight you. We'll take 2-1. We'll take 2-1. We do that all the time. But if you literally can't come fight us without 2,000 of your closest friends against one alliance of 500 dudes, okay, I guess, I mean, it's it. You don't want good fights? That's fine. You don't have to. It's a hell war. You know, we'll deal with it. But how much longer are you going to get these 2,000-man fleets as every time you do this and every time you rage ping for hours to try to get people to log in and they do and they get no content? How long are they going to do that? I don't know. Anyway, get mad.
Okay, so I think it's really funny because I get to watch people either in chat or through spies or what have you react to the things that I do. And I remember before the war started, I somebody got it right because they saw like the fight or flight reflex trigger, and like for me it's more of like a fight thing, like come on, let's do this, Villy, I'm in your head, I know what you're doing, you know you fucked up, Star Commander Villy, you know you can't rely on Piggles for shit. You know your entire plan has failed. You know that everybody who's following your lead has failed utterly to respect you, which is why when you call for help, nobody answers. The only people that are actually doing anything successful on this are the entire PanFam front, because everybody in this war that was started by Test understands that Test are failures. But what was funny is that like I saw that and people were like, oh, he's scared, like whatever. I do definitely get like, you know, I can't get you through the screen. But there is definitely a degree of, you know, I'm eager to see where this goes. Where I wanted to go with this was Jay Amazingness blew my mind the other day. He introduced me to like an aspect of Reddit culture, subculture that I was unaware of, because I'm an old man and I had never been to our tendies. And actually, if you guys are familiar with the whole tendies joke, please say so in chat so I know if everybody is in with like the whole tendies thing or not. I don't know if that's something that all the cool kids are aware of or what. Okay.
Of course.
So basically, I realized for all this time I've been trying to figure out what it is with Test, is that they're a bunch of good boys. Like they are looking for fucking good boy points so that mommy will make them some fucking tendies. And it explains everything. It explains FanFest. It explains like the Vegas guys. And you see the ones that actually turn up. And they're good boys. They're looking for their good boy points so they can get mommy to make them some tendies. And it's amazing to me because, like, again, I'm not part of like the whole cringe Reddit subculture or whatever, but between finding tendies was fucking hilarious, 1, and 2, with the Reddit mass tagger, right? Like there's a browser extension on Reddit. So now I can see who these people that spurg the fuck out so much about me are. And like it has like a little red bar by their name that shows what they're really into. And my God, it completely changes our Eve, because once I know that somebody is like the Donald user or that they're from some incel subreddit, the incel ones are the best, because so many of our enemies, I see them like spurging out at us and like, rah, 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 and they're, oh, cringe this, oh, re that. And now that I know, about this aspect of Reddit culture and seeing who our enemies are. I have never been so proud of our guys because they are not these people. But yeah, it does kind of explain a lot. I do think that maybe test leadership strategy is that if they do get enough good boy points, then maybe somebody will make them some tindies or, know the touch of another human being. I don't know. It's just really interesting. Like, anyway, sorry, I got distracted because I was thinking about the sociological implications of like why this other organization is disproportionately full of like weebs and incels and like alt-right wannabes. And my God, the posting is just so bad. It is so bad. Like between Valcorisa and Captain Sobod, it's just like, who are these people? And who wants to hang out with these people? Like, wow. The problem, when I see like my spies report to me little clips of like the test guys working together to create what they think is a good meme, and it's not just one guy making a bad meme, right? It's like a team effort of these people just like polishing a fucking turd, and then they go, this is great, get this on Reddit, and they do like an upvote brigade, and it's like, what's fascinating to me is like, one, it's garbage. Like, we knew test are bad posters. That's not really like shocking or anything.
Well, that's
garbage,
their thing.
but they think it's good. Like they're not being ironic. Like they actually think that these things are good, and it's just like,
look, as far as I'm concerned, all I want them to do is keep making a ton of propaganda that puts my face in it. I don't care whether it's my in-game face. I don't care whether it's this one. I got a haircut just for you guys. So I'm hoping that I get some good, solid propaganda out of it this week. But I just like seeing myself on the front page, so I'll take it.
The other thing is, like, if these guys aren't used to seeing me like post or like talk or something, like the idea that I'm angry about EVE Online and that is like, if I get triggered every time I get angry, guys, like, okay, just so if you are not a regular Meta Show user, right? If you are like a line member in Horde and Test and you're here and you're honking in chat and like,
welcome, we're happy for the viewer.
Yeah. So, spoiler alert, I have 3 emotions that I'm comfortable with. One is I love it, one is I hate it, and the other is stop wasting my time. So I'm usually angry about stuff, or I'm really happy about stuff. The sort of the extremes are not really there. So if this is me getting triggered, get used to it. Tune in every week. You can tune in to watch me get triggered multiple times over the show, because if, according to the Tindies guys, who are posting in their incel subreddits, that if I express anger or I express contempt or I look down on you or I say that you suck or your leaders are just a bunch of fucking idiots who have failed utterly. And, credit to PanFam, their side of things, because PanFam used to be our enemies, our main enemies, before we dumped them for a younger and more annoying enemy of choice, that being Test, who will be the people that we continue to go after for some time after this. But yeah, like if me getting like mad and ranting about something is like getting triggered,
right.
It happens like, fuck, man. I mean, probably like every 5 minutes,
every day.
So this is
every hour. Well, it's just funny because you can't. This is one of the downsides to the propaganda side of the. I mean, look, we have a show. Bad guys don't have anything. They don't have an outlet like this. They don't provide any kind of information like this. They don't entertain their people like that. So we have to do it for them too. And I'm happy to play that role. I enjoy it. I like the eyeballs. I know Matterall likes to give me a hard time and say I'm in over my head because, I'm here and Matani's playing you brisk. You used to be a big news guy and you were very, very, straight-laced and all this other kind of thing. And I'm no different than I ever was. I like being on a show that people watch. So I'm happy that you guys are here.
Uncomfortable with humans. Like
right?
That's why it is. They don't understand if they see somebody getting angry or they see somebody like being intense. I remember like, do you remember the whole like eye laser thing? Like this was probably like 5 years ago. Some Redditor was like, the Matani is a sociopath because he makes eye contact. And he
yes, I remember.
He makes eye contact when you're talking to him, and so he's clearly a sociopath.
I was told that was a negotiating tactic. You got to look the other person in the eye. I thought that was just
normal human behavior was to make eye contact. But I think that maybe the reason why they're like, oh my God, triggered cringe is because they're just not used to like encountering other human beings or like dealing with human emotions. Because like the people that are doing the whole, oh my God, you're triggered and cringe stuff, it's not the PL guys. Like it's not like the party crew, the people that actually go out of their houses. It's these good boys who are looking for their Tamami to make him some tindies here in chat. I hope somebody please are going to have to post some of those memes such that it actually makes sense. Otherwise,
it's true.
Like
I mean, part of it,
nonsense.
Part of it is definitely, I feel like, and this is a standard thing, the new guys that join a group, the easiest way to become integrated or feel like you're part of the team is to go out there and crap on the guys that the other guys already don't like. So I think some of the Horde stuff, when I see some of the really nasty stuff come out of the Horde guys, that's to be expected because those guys are new and they're just trying to be. I just want to be liked. If I say something nasty to somebody in local, I'll look like I'm part of the team. That's fine. I understand that. But it just, some of the stuff just gets really, really bad. But, you know, it is what it is. We're used to toxicity.
Who's mad?
Right.
I mean,
but
the
like
other
I
thing
said,
is, it makes
how
it
can
mad
you claim
it
you're
doesn't
winning
really, like, bother me,
if you're this angry all the time, right? Shouldn't you be happy?
Well, that is actually, I guess, the distinction is that I'm like, I think one of the reasons why it does bother them is that it doesn't really bother me. But of course, I do get angry. I will say like this, that, or the other thing, and I'll like herf blurfs about it. But like, a lot of people are wired in a certain way, and you know, I've obviously, like, I'm a little different from other people. I've worried periodically because, you know, if enough people call you a sociopath or a narcissist, if you're not a sociopath or a narcissist, you will eventually crack open a book and go like, is something really wrong with me? Because whenever
Right.
I play an internet spaceship game,
They
everybody
keep
says that I'm
saying
some
this.
sort of
Why
like
do I
space
do it?
Hitler. What is this, right?
Mhm.
But it does seem that, like, compared to some of my friends, actually, compared to most people, that I just give, it's not that I don't care what people think about me, right? You know, it is, you can make me mad, you can make me bothered by stuff. Like, I am a human being, but I do give less of a shit. Like, once somebody goes into the "you're the enemy" box, like, I just don't really care as much what they think, and often I'll just sort of like poke them with a stick because it's fun. And so it is a way that I'm wired, that like, I think one of the reasons why I bother some of the people in chat so much is just because I don't care as much as the people that they're used to trolling. I don't know. I get distracted by the sociology and the psychology because that's how my brain works, and I'm ADHD as shit. So I should probably make sure that our space isn't exploding here. Hold on. Sorry, Brice. If
No,
actually,
it's
we're
fine.
gonna
No,
go
it's
into
fine.
cool
Look,
kids mode. We
all
haven't done
I
cool
was
kids
going
mode.
to say is, it's just, and to your point of, people say nasty stuff long enough, people are going to think, oh, you know, you're going to start thinking, maybe I should go check this out. I just think it's funny that guys think that by coming at me in chat or by adding me in Discord and stuff like that, calling me names or saying I'm too fat to get up because I'm in a wheelchair. Okay, stuff like that, like that's gonna bother guys. I'm a politician. You know, I get death threats. I'm not worried about somebody making fun of what I look like. So if you really want to annoy me, you know, just pay no attention to me. That will piss me off more than anything else. That's what I don't like. But the constant attention, guys, please keep it coming. I love this. This is great. You know, just I hope that you all realize that I am quite willing to accept your worship. It's fine. So anyway,
Well,
we're getting close to the end of the show. Is there anything
we can hang out here for a little
about?
bit because I just wanted to get,
Go ahead.
you know, we forgot to go into Cool Kids mode. So we are in Cool Kids mode now. So if you want to honk at us, you are welcome to subscribe to the show and support our whole INN thing. And meanwhile,
Honk away, boys. We love it. And ladies. I see
I haven't even
Delana out
checked our
there.
notes. I was just like freestyle riffing on this because like it is a real problem. Like, as you guys know, like, I'm really big into like psychology, sociology, politics, human behavior, behavioral psychology, behavioral finance, all that sort of stuff. Like, if you start talking about cognitive flaws, I'll just go on a tangent about like how to better design organizations because of shit like that. Yep, people are definitely, but yeah, seriously, guys, like, if you find it amusing to see me like get into like super intense eye laser mode and I start like herfing blurfs, like, tune in every week. Like, I do this pretty much every show. I will get mad about something and I will rant about it, and you can post about how it's cringe that another human being is expressing an emotion or caring about something, because that makes you desperately uncomfortable because you're just not okay with yourself and you're not okay with other people expressing emotions. Tune in every week. You'll get a chance to see it multiple times a show. It's regardless of whether it's war or not. This is how I roll. So I'm glad. Yeah, exactly. Let's see what we got here. So we can take some questions. We haven't had a chance to really do that yet. The only thing I'm big on is crack. That is not accurate. I'm usually big on weed, but not during a show. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, there is. Wow, this is just fucking funny. Sorry, guys. I really enjoy it when there are like 1,200 people in chat, and like, because like it's kind of like a real time intelligence feed. I can kind of like take the temperature of like our enemies just based upon like how they're reacting to things. So it's actually has a huge intelligence advantage to like piss people off enough that they all turn up. What is Test actually good at? Oh boy, what is Test actually good at? I will be honest here. They have a really good Bomber FC. Test, like the one shining star of confidence in Test is that they have like the Predators group. Their bomber group is very good, and so we have to always be on guard about getting bombed and be confident about that. Beyond that, one of the biggest challenges that they have is that none of their leaders are really invested in Test, right? I think Villy is invested in Test as a vehicle for his ambition, but like by and large, the leaders of Test are, you don't really see people from Dreadit who are like really in charge. It's basically like FCs who couldn't like make it in other alliances or had their alliances blown out from under them repeatedly, who are like in Test to try to like make their name and do their thing. So that's probably one of their biggest weaknesses in return for like the compliment about the Bomber group is that there's not like a devotion to the Test line, because you almost never meet the Test line, because again they don't go to Vegas, they don't go to FanFest, they're looking for good boy points. But yeah, that is a thing that Test is good at, is that they have a good Bomber FC. Yeah, that's it. Oh my. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else we got here. But it is, it's tough. Like again, like credit to PanFam. PanFam are competent enemies. We know this because we in the Imperium have mainly been fighting PanFam for like the last however fucking long. So like if one side or the other wasn't at least matched in terms of competence, we would have annihilated each other and would have been over or whatever. So there's like a rough match there, but it is really interesting. Like we have been doing a lot of work to stop Legacy, but like they're getting worse every day. And amusingly enough, like the as much as this was like ProGod, Villy, and Manny's like whole war thing, most of the people really doing the work in terms of forming up out of fat have been the dudes in Brave. So it's this whole weird situation where like Test was like, everybody like, we're going to do this whole thing. And like ProGod Legend gave this like shitty, dumb speech where he's like, goons are bad for the game and we hate them. And then it's like PanFam is like doing the work and the Legacy guys are doing the work, and Test is trying. They're continuing to try. They just are bad at it and they fucking suck and their leaders suck. So there you go. Down with the blue donut. That is probably one of the most interesting things about this, is that the very people that have been screeching at the Imperium for so long got together 150,000 pilots and blued everything to come at us. So I got distracted when I was calling all of our enemies cowards, because then they started talking about cringe and and then I started talking about Tindies and my good boy points and things like that. But it is an important thing. Like the very people who have been spending all this time howling and screeching about like, oh my God, too many blues, the Imperium bad or whatever. The hypocrisy and the cowardice of our enemies has been exposed for the entire galaxy to see. So even if they did manage to kick us back to NPC Delve, it's kind of like in the Casino War. They hate us calling it the Casino War because they don't like everybody being reminded that they had cheated Infinite ISK to fund that. So losses didn't matter in the Casino War because they could just get free money. So similarly, they hate being reminded of the fact that they blued the entire universe despite all of their whining about blues all this time. So their hypocrisy knows no bounds. It is what it is. I think that's probably it, though. I think we're probably about done. I could sit. I'm afraid I'm going to trap Brisk because I will sit here and turf blurfs all day.
We can do that. I got nothing. I know where to go. I do want to make a point, because this is true. I talk about PanFam all the time. Let me be clear. When I'm talking about sore losers and people that are being jerks about winning, I'm talking about primarily Horde guys. I'm talking about maybe to a certain extent some NC Dot, but mostly if it's anybody in NC Dot, it's Pittsburgh. That he's been the only one that I've seen that has been like really like a hard ass bitchy all the time. But the PL guys, to be fair, the PL guys are great. I don't have a problem with any of them. They've not been jerks about it. They have fun. They're smart. They know what they're doing. They're doing well. Headliner and I get along now. We used to not, but he and I have been getting along pretty well for about a year and a half now. So I don't know what's going on. But I haven't had any issues with PL. If anything, I think the poorest winners that I've seen are Horde, which sucks because Gobbins and I are good friends. I just think it's weird. But they're the youngest of the crew, and they're the guys that are doing new stuff. So it's to be expected that they're going to be the ones that are a little more hardcore. on it than anybody else. I mean, there may be, I think there may be one. I mean, Ark is maybe the only PL guy that I can recall that is like a really weird, mean guy. Everybody else has been generally good. So I want to be fair to Headliner because we couldn't get him on the show, but maybe next week. We'll see about next week.
Yeah, I mean, I would be delighted to have Headliner on. It depends on what's happening, but if we have Headliner on the show, we'll probably get like 3 or 4 new like old school PL guys from back in the day joining Goonswarm. So, I'm cool with it.
That'll be good. We'll see. All right. I was going to mention the MER a little bit. I mean, there's nothing really to go into in more detail. If you guys haven't seen the June 2020 MER is out. The only highlight that I would point out is that mining in nullsec is dead. HiSec had the top 4 regions combined. They were more than most of nullsec. So if you're a miner, go have fun in HiSec because that's where apparently all the action is. Ratting income is basically what it's always been. Oasa and Delve were in the top. So it was down, but it wasn't down a lot. But the mining thing I thought was pretty big. But we can go into more detail on that in a future show. But that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, also, I forgot to make fun of Tess for not knowing how to lance. We had this hilarious incident last night.
Yeah.
Oh
Ron USMC was talking about that this morning because he was saying,
like,
Init doesn't know how to lance. I'm like, we know how to lance. You guys just warp away.
Init can actually like hit stuff. So like, it was amazing. Like this happened in like TCAG. I'm gonna see if I have a screenshot for it, like from my deep scroll back here. But like, we had a fleet that we jumped in G Magic and Test actually broke out their Titans to like try to lance, and like, it was almost as if, in terms of even if you had a random distribution of just completely randomized attempts with the Titans that they had, they should have hit our fleet with something, and the only thing that they ended up doing was blowing up their own fucking Sino. It was comprehensive incompetence, right? It was really it was kind of stunning. So I do hope to see more Test Titans lancing and being on the field because there
you go.
But yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I think
basically
we're at the end. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching the Meta Show. We appreciate everybody that was here. Thank you to the bad guys in your honking. We appreciate you.
I think the honks are cute, actually. Like,
I love it.
I don't mind the honks at all. And I really do appreciate the screeching about me being angry and getting triggered every time that I care about something and start staring into the camera. And eventually, one day, you will learn that human beings do have emotions, and that is a very strange thing. But if you want to see me have more emotions, do turn up every single week, same bat time, same bat channel. You can talk about how I'm getting triggered, and I can make fun of weebs and incels and advertise the Reddit mass tagger. Like, seriously, guys, I don't know about it for Firefox, but it works for Chrome. You can just Google mass tagger, and it will identify and uproot all of the incel losers that are amongst the non-Imperium side. Seriously, this war is like cool people versus lame people. I don't know what Headliner and the PL guys are doing over there still, but like it's a pretty
come on overhead. We're okay if you want to flip.
Like this is the Imperium is on the Cool Kids Club side, and everybody who is on the bad guys side, you guys know who you're hanging out with. You're rolling around with fucking Valkorisa and Captain Soban and some of the worst pro posters and the worst tryhards in the history of EVE. So you made your bed and enjoy lying in it. But yeah, I think that's it. I think we're done.
All right. Everybody, thanks for watching the Meta Show. This has been the Meta Show. I am Brisker Ball along with the Matani. It was July 25th, 2020. Pine cones to Lenda Est, and you stay classy, New Eden.
We will see you next week, boys and girls.